Hello, everyone. We are going live talking about surviving crisis. We've got another expert in the house today on the call. So Ask the Expert is going live here. My guest today is Jennifer Glass. And Jennifer is a business expert of many different, what do I want to say, Jennifer? Many different talents. But Jennifer, I'll let you tell a little bit about what it is that you do and how you help businesses, and then kind of lead us into what we're going to be talking about today.
Absolutely. Thanks, Daniel, so much for having me today. So what I can say to all of you out there is right now, especially with the crisis that we're all dealing with, and if you don't think you're dealing with it in a direct manner, I'm sure you are, you just don't realize it just yet. But there's so many issues that are out there today that we all need to be focused on, we all need to be paying attention to. What I do is I work with businesses just like Daniel does in helping them ultimately grow their bottom line. As for those of you that can see behind me, my book is called It's the Bottom Line That Matters. It's really all about making sure that you are going to have the tools, the resources, the opportunities in your business to continue to grow, whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, 10 years down the road, because the business fundamentals and fundamentals of marketing still exist. Daniel and I both work with you on, or business owners in general, showing you how to really get there and make sure that you can see what those fundamentals are, learn how to use them in your business properly, and get out there in a way that is going to make a lot of sense at the end of the day. Now, one of the things that I also work with my clients on is also how to use LinkedIn as a major tool in business also. If you're not currently on LinkedIn, or if you're using it in not the ideal manner, you are missing out tremendously. You know, there are 660 million users around the globe in over 200 countries, right? Think about that for a second. 660 million LinkedIn users around the globe. What does that mean to you? That means that if you are selling anything in the B2B, and even if you're not a B2B provider, but you're a B2C provider, there's a very good chance that those 660 million people that are on the platform are still going to be someone that may be interested in what it is that you have to offer. But if you
Jennifer, we talk these days about 6 degrees of separation, only 6 connections and you can get to anyone on the planet. And I think LinkedIn specifically has shrunk that now. I think I saw that it's only 2 or 3 steps to anybody on the planet if you've got a connection through LinkedIn.
Oh, just about, and here's a big one, former President Barack Obama. I'm 2nd degree to President Obama.
Wow.
There's a lot of those connections. And by the way, I did send him an invitation. I will say that. So, President Obama, if you are listening, I am going to call you out on it, and please answer my invitation.
He must not check his LinkedIn account daily.
Not daily, but I was, though, Senator McCaine and a number of other major people I am definitely connected to, along with my congressman I am connected with on LinkedIn, other than being socially friends as well. But that's a completely different story. But getting back though to what you were saying, those degrees are extremely important, and you want your network to be valuable. And we'll kind of go into what I mean by valuable in a moment, in terms of what we're actually doing here. So, you know what, Daniel, if you don't mind, can we jump into the presentation?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. One moment here, and I'll bring that up.
While Daniel is bringing up the presentation, guys, just one thing to really keep in mind in terms of using LinkedIn and getting the business and value from LinkedIn. If we're talking just here in the United States, there are 37% of US adults between the ages of 30 and 49 using LinkedIn today. Daniel, can we go to the next slide?
Yeah, sure can.
So let's look at this for a second here, right? Microsoft a couple of years ago bought the LinkedIn platform for $26.2 billion. And for those of you that are looking at it, wait a second, 26.2, it sounds familiar. It's the marathon, right? It's really interesting to think about it from that perspective.
Wow.
Microsoft looked at LinkedIn as a marathon, right? What they're looking at is how can they possibly connect LinkedIn with all of their other pieces that they have in their universe, right? There's Windows, there's Outlook, Office, all of that. All of these things that you're seeing, Windows, Outlook, Excel, Skype, PowerPoint, Word, SharePoint, they're all incorporating LinkedIn in some manner, shape, or form into those individual pieces. Like if you have the latest versions of Outlook, especially the Outlook 365, you will see the ability to see someone's LinkedIn profile when you put in their email address. It will search for their LinkedIn account when you are communicating with someone on LinkedIn. And Microsoft did this because they realized the value of the platform. And Microsoft is really, at the end of the day, a B2B player. They are looking, how can they expand their reach? How can they get even more people to know about their stuff? If somehow you've been living in a cave for the last 20 some odd years and you don't know Microsoft. So all of these different pieces are all being incorporated into Microsoft's universe. And it's really important, if you're not currently using LinkedIn as a major tool in your business today, start thinking about what it is that you can do. And Daniel, let's go to the next slide so that we can show everyone some of the do's about what it is that you need to be careful about, right? The
Yeah,
first,
and I want to mention here too, Jennifer, as you're starting to explain some do's and don'ts on your LinkedIn profile, if anyone wants to volunteer to have their LinkedIn profile looked at today, this is one of Jennifer's expertise areas. So if you want to have her take a look at your LinkedIn profile, give you some tips, what you can do to change it to try to attract more of your prospective clients to come your direction. That's really what LinkedIn is. I've heard some people say LinkedIn is the largest trade show in the world, and your page is your booth at this trade show. So you want to make sure that you're attracting people to come into your booth. So if anyone wants to have their LinkedIn profile reviewed while we're on this call here, make sure that you add that to the comments down below, and I'll pass that on to Jennifer and we'll take a look at your LinkedIn profile live.
absolutely. And guys, by the way, just FYI, that's a $2,997 value. So please, 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 please take me up on it.
Wow. Thank you, Jennifer.
Yes, thank you. We're happy to go through it, make sure that we provide value. At the end of the day, everything here is about value. And you see that's the second point on the LinkedIn dues point. It is all about offering value, making sure that when you are working with your profile, making sure that when you're talking with people on the LinkedIn platform, everything has to be all about value. It has to really be what it is about your avatar. And for those of you that don't know what an avatar is, and by the way, guys, I'm not talking about James Cameron's Blue People. I am talking about who is an ideal or a representation of your ideal client, right? That is what an avatar is. You need to be absolutely certain, absolutely clear on who they are, because you want your profile to be all about them. Right? When you're working with your profile, you need it to be clear. What is it that I am going to be offering my client? How do I offer that to my client? What are their biggest pain points? What are their biggest objections? And then you write your profile according to that. In other words, if you sell a specific widget to another business, a manufacturing company, you need to answer, why is your widget better than someone else's? And folks, I got a really great statistic. Actually, it's a scary statistic, friends, if I can share it with you. And that is, according to a study done by UC San Diego, I think it was done in 2018, if I remember correctly, we as a human race are exposed to 34 gigabit of data on a daily basis.
Wow.
Now, guys, think about this for a second. How many gig of RAM does your computer have?
Half
Right?
that.
Is it 8 gig? Is it 16 gig? What is it that your computer has? And most systems today are coming with about 8 gig of memory for the memory on your computer. And we're being exposed to 34 gig of data on a daily basis.
Wow.
That's the incredible thing to keep in mind. And what do I mean by that? Think about it from uh, even today, but think about a normal day when we're not all home and dealing with Corona. You get up in the morning, right? The very first piece of information your brain is processing is your alarm clock going off or your kid coming in to wake you up, right? And then you're going to make your coffee or making breakfast, whatever it is. All of these are pieces of information that we are being bombarded with that our brains have learned to tune out. So when I say make it all about your avatars, make it about the thought zone in terms of what somebody is looking at, you need to break down those walls that are built in front of us because our brains can only process so much data on a daily basis. So if you
Yeah.
are talking to nobody in particular, if you're just throwing something up there in terms of a profile and you're saying, I am the end all and be all to every single person in industry out there, you're not going to be converting. It has to be about your avatar. It has to directly talk to that, going back to that widget person. If that widget is the widget that a business needs to make their machines run smoother or their product run the way that it's supposed to in an ideal fashion, that's what you have to be all about. You're not going to be offering shampoo because it makes absolutely no difference, right? Think
Yeah.
about it this way. If you're Nike, you're not going to be selling uh, staples, right? It's got nothing to do with it. It's
Yeah.
got to be sport goods,
But
right?
Jennifer, you're really talking about something, a use of LinkedIn, which is, I think a lot of people are going to think is kind of revolutionary. Most people, I think, are used to using LinkedIn back in the old days when LinkedIn was first created, where LinkedIn was basically just your resume in an electronic format. You're talking about something that's really revolutionary here, aren't you?
Absolutely. And that's actually on my LinkedIn Don't slide.
Okay.
Absolutely, Daniel. It is really all about making it clear you are handling a need and you're handling an objection that your avatar has, right? That is the key thing that we're doing here. You need to be constantly offering value. Don't sell on the first contact, like it says right here, LinkedIn don'ts. Do never, 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 never. And can I say never again?
I'm sure other people out there, if you've been on LinkedIn, you get friended by someone and you think, well, I'm not really sure who you are, but maybe there's some kind of affinity here between us. And then the very next thing you know, you get some message of, hey, you should call me and let's have a consultation and you should buy this thing for me. And I'm like, no, those people get deleted off my friend list immediately. I don't know about you.
I even get them on the invitation.
Oh,
They don't
really?
even wait till I accept.
That's bold.
They're reaching out to me and they're saying, listen, I'm from company X, Y, and Z, and I think we should work together.
No, thank you.
No, it doesn't work for me. If you're going to be reaching out to me upfront, and by the way, there's a whole question, should I not send a customized message with the invitation? I still like sending a personalized message
I do too.
because it directly starts a rapport with the person that you're trying to connect with. And one thing, guys, that I will share with you, if you're trying to reach members in the media, especially, because LinkedIn is an incredible resource for the media personalities as well. They're all on LinkedIn or Twitter, depending, some may be more on Twitter, some are more on LinkedIn. But you want to be connecting with anybody that is covering your industry because they are going to be people that can be a major resource for you. And by the way, guys, this is not just LinkedIn. This is business overall, right? Daniel and I can probably go on and on. And unfortunately, we only have a limited amount of time with you all today. But in terms of on a regular basis, there's only so much that you can be working with on your own. The media is an amazing resource to get out there even more. And so when you're looking at what you're doing on LinkedIn, reaching out to people in the media and explaining to them, hey, this is the area that I can possibly help you with, right? Because the media, they need sources, right? Read any article, so-and-so said, so-and-so said, so-and-so has this resource. They need you more than you need them in a certain way, but you need them to get your message out and to really stand out from the crowd. And when you have the right media messaging, the right PR strategies that are out there, that is something that is really going to be key. And you want to make sure that when you are working or pitching the media on LinkedIn, you are setting that as, hey, this is an area that I can possibly help you. Again, you're not selling, right? You're offering value. You're offering them a shortcut because they don't necessarily now have to find another resource. They know I can go right to Daniel. I can go right to John. I can go right to Jennifer to get this information so that we can get what we need in terms of moving forward. So
That's
think
a
about
great idea. Yeah. So now, if some business owners find themselves with a little bit of downtime because for whatever reason your business has been closed due to government orders, or you just don't have customers coming in the door like you're used to, this maybe could be a tactic that someone could try out. Get on LinkedIn, get connected with those reporters, those journalists who cover a beat that your business operates in, and start making some connections like that. And I think this is a great tool. LinkedIn is just another sales tool, but remember, you are still involved in a sales process. So if it's your business to a customer, you still have to develop that relationship as you go along. You still have to reach out and make connections with the journalist so you get that PR. And LinkedIn is just another great tool to do something that you're already doing. So yeah, I think that's a great idea. Take a few minutes while business is a little slow at the moment and get yourself set up. Yeah,
okay,
great
and
idea.
thank you. And by the way, guys, one more thing in terms of the PR aspect. If you're doing anything special right now because of the crisis that we're in, let the reporters know that you're doing this special program. And even
That's a
an invitation.
fantastic idea. Wow. Yeah. Thanks. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. Keep going. But
Just
wow.
think about the value that you're getting as you're reaching out to those media folks. And you don't have to only reach out to a single publication. In other words, if you were reaching out to NBC, reach out to CBS, ABC, Fox, reach out to some of the cable news outlets that may be in your area too, that really can benefit. Reach out to the local papers and reach out certainly to the industry publications and let them know what you're doing to help other people right now, whether it's a small business focus, it's a community focus, whatever it is. Make sure that you're doing that also. It's called newsjacking. When you do that, it's working with the current news cycle. What is hot? What is big? What is a trending issue right now? Because the more that you can get out there and the more that you can show the media that you're really paying attention, you have a much greater chance at actually getting the focus right now, which is going to help your business survive today, tomorrow, next week, next year, etc., because of everything you're doing right now. So with the downtime, whether it's forced or not, pay attention to that. Look at the things that you can do and make sure, though, that before you reach out to the media, you guys are looking at your profile to have it as clear as possible. Because if you reach out to someone and it says, listen, I sell a widget to anyone and everyone, they're not going to know who you are and they're not going to know why to work with you.
Yeah.
So
So yeah, I think that's a great distinction, and let's kind of make that point, and then we'll move into looking at some LinkedIn profiles, which is kind of what this was all about. So I know that a lot of people are really concerned. They don't want to appear opportunistic, trying to take advantage of a crisis like this. But I think there's a distinction between taking advantage or trying to be helpful. And look at it this way: journalism is still a business. Their business is producing content to fill either the page or the airtime. And so all you're doing is you are just helping them out. So they're happy to help you out too. And so it just really becomes a nice opportunity for both. It becomes win-win. So I think that's an important distinction, Jennifer. And I wanted to reiterate what you just said there.
thank you for the reiteration. Absolutely. Yes, it is extremely important. And again, it's value, 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 right? When you provide value, people are going to look at you as a resource. If what you're doing is you're going out there and spamming, they're going to look at you as a spammer.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, I'm looking at the comments here. Oh boy. the
to
pleasures of
even do
working
it.
from home. I got dogs in the background.
Sharing a bone.
Oh, and they're sharing a bone, maybe. Or not sharing, as the case may be. So I'm looking at the comments here. No one has been willing to come forward and ask for a review of their LinkedIn profile. So Jennifer, I'll offer mine up if you want to take a look at mine. And I need to stop sharing on my end, so I think you can share then next, right?
Right.
Okay.
So
So all yours. Go ahead.
okay, so do you see my screen?
I sure do. Yep.
Okay, so
Looking
let
at
me
your
kind of
profile at the
start
moment.
with mine, and then we'll kind of hit into yours, Daniel, and then hopefully, guys, someone will let us know that they're interested in critiquing their profile as well. So the very first thing that you want to focus on is the header image. There's so much going on in the header image. You know how the adage goes, real estate, it's location, 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 right? Everything is location, 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 what you can possibly offer, and the curb appeal, right? Those are all important ideas when it comes to real estate. The same goes true with your LinkedIn profile. If you look at the header image, there's a lot that can be conveyed here in a really short piece, but talks volumes. First is, I have my book in here. Bottom line, that matters. I have my media credentials. It's featured in the Boston Globe, ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, Miami Herald, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I have my tag, your business growth strategy starts here. I'm speaking in front of a room because I do a lot of public speaking. And those are all important things that are being conveyed through a simple image. And it's amazing the subconscious or subliminal messaging that is being passed along, because it's telling you, listen, your business growth strategy starts here. The media has featured her and she has a book. Right? Now, if I'm looking at all of these pieces, it becomes that much more important. The next thing is, let's talk about your header image, right? Your profile image. If you have a picture that's in there and it's not the kind of image that is going to convey a sense of professionalism, in other words, it's that picture from your cousin's wedding with you holding a drink in a hand. Now, unless you're a bartender, having a drink in your hand, probably not the right image that you want to actually be putting out there on your profile image, right? Everything here is all about conveying, I am real, I am the real deal, and a reason why for a professional that wants to potentially work with me, whether it's a journalist or anyone else in business wants to work with me, is because I need to get them to see I am real. So again, all of my media credentials right next to me on the profile image, which is all important. The other thing also then to look at is, if you guys see in the URL, so many people forget that they can customize this piece of the URL. And it's, as an example, John-Doe-5CX7AB13, right? Now, if you guys are doing that, one of the key things that a lot of people look at, and I am one of those people too, is, are you likely a real account or are you a fraud account? Right? A lot of people create fake LinkedIn accounts, and you can say, well, they've got a premium account, because the premium account you can get free for 30 days. And a lot of these people are doing it, and they're trying to build a network. And what they're doing is they're using that so that they can then harvest emails. Very easy to pull emails from LinkedIn, and then you get added to, scammers' systems. So you want to make sure, though, that you are at least customizing URL, and you can make it whatever it is that you want it to be, so that it's going to be more memorable and a way that you can show people, hey, I'm real. You also then want in your headline to be sharing, what is it that you are, who do you help, how do you do it, and what can they expect to get from working with you?
So not just your title, but
Right.
actually going beyond that. Yeah.
without
Who
a
do I
question.
work with and how do I help? Yeah.
Right. When you say CEO at company X, and now you may know what company X does, but I don't, right? Unless you're Bill Gates and you can say, founder of Microsoft and chairman of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, nobody's going to know what it is that you're actually talking about. So it really has to be clear, because remember, when you send an invitation, your headline goes with the invitation. And that's the first thing I see when I get an invitation. I'm not necessarily going to be going to your profile if it doesn't seem like it makes sense to connect.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If I look at those invitations and I see Vice President of Sales for Company X, well, first of all, Vice President of Sales for Company X is probably going to be turning me off.
Yeah.
Because I know that the very next conversation is going to be a sales conversation. I may not want to even get into a conversation if I see Vice President of Sales. But if you tell me I help businesses get more clients through X, Y, and Z, now there may be a reason why I want to connect with you, because I may have a need, my clients may have a need, or I may want to work with you in another manner to make that happen. But if you're saying VP sales, it's not going to go through. It's just no value. The next thing you want to look at also, by the way, guys, is make sure that what you're doing in the summary section, your about section, is really, really clear, because you only have a limited space that you have right here. I don't know why the mouse is acting that way. In terms of before they have to click, you see the see more button or link. It has to be crystal clear. Why do I want to even go further and look at your profile if it doesn't mean anything? But if you can stand out and you can say, I work with businesses to do X, Y, and Z, now all of a sudden it's, wait a second, now I think I want to work with you, right? What if I told you I can find virtually any business $100,000 in 45 minutes without them having them spend additional something? Wait a second, what does she mean she can help me get $100,000 in 45 minutes? Right? You create that human interest. You pique their interest when you have that there, because now all of a sudden it starts standing out. And remember, guys, it's not the me, it's the you. I am not writing this about me. I care about me. You don't care about me, right? Nobody else is caring about you because, well, I take that back. Your family and everyone loves you. You're a great person and everyone loves you, right? Please don't get me wrong in that regard. We all love you. But in terms of business, it's all the me quotient.
Yeah. I'm sorry. You're fighting against human nature. Yeah. It's reality.
So when I look at, the see more, then now all of a sudden it gets more, right? What I do, how I do it. This is really where you have the opportunity to make it. Remember I said earlier, it's all about providing value. It's all about what are your customers or your avatar's biggest pain points, and how do you help them avoid those pain points or overcome those pain points, and what about the objections that people have when it comes down to looking at it from the perspective of how do I now get the support and how do I answer those concerns that people have, right? So I have right here, what if I'm not local? Well, I'm based in Bergen County, New Jersey, but I can work anywhere in the US, Canada, and a few international markets too, right? That's an immediate objection, right? What if I'm not local to you? What if you need to know how to get more, payment processing? That's another service I offer, right? Those are the different things in here that are helping you reach what it is that you are having in terms of a potential objection. So you need to see, what is it that I'm doing? How can I do that? And by the way, make sure also you have an ability for people to know how to contact you.
That's a key point. I see that mistake in a lot of marketing. There's no way to reach out to this business, so how can I do business with them? So that's a very effective key point. Yeah. let people know how they can get a hold of you.
Right. Everything is making it clear, this is what I do. And then looking just a little bit further in terms of the professional experience section, you want it to really also be paying attention to keywords, right? Remember, Microsoft paid $26.2 billion to buy LinkedIn. They didn't do this for it to sit on a shelf. They did it to be a useful tool. Remember also, by the way, that the third biggest search engine is Bing. Bing is owned by Microsoft. They know how to SEO, to search engine optimize your pages so that it shows up even in Google as one of the top results for specific keywords, names, etc. So if you are paying attention to what you're doing on LinkedIn, the more times that you are looking at your keywords, and by the way, don't just keyword spam, because whether it's a website or this, keyword spamming is going to be penalized, right? They know that. They know people game the system. But the idea is that if you can clearly in human talk, remember that, that's the key term, human talk, have your keywords showing up, now all of a sudden it starts to make a difference. Because if you can throw in there what it is that you're doing, right? Tips and strategies to grow your business, right? Those are things the search engines are going to look at, because if I am searching for something that is, I need strategies to grow my business, you're going to show up in that kind of result. You want to be offering the value. You want to tell someone, why should I want to work with you instead of someone else? Remember, there's very few industries that are not a dime a dozen people out there, right? Whether you're a financial advisor, you're an accountant, you're a banker, you're an attorney, you are a coach. There are so many people out there that are competing for the exact same client. And so when you're looking at what it is that you're doing, you really need to be paying attention to those areas, to those strategies, to those keywords that you're using to show people what's there. So let's kind of go pick on Daniel's. We're going to go pick on Daniel's profile. So the very first thing, note, by the way, Daniel is doing the right thing with the URL, right? He's got his accreditations here. He's got what it is that you're trying to focus on, feel like your business is out of control. And he's got a couple of different things that he's working on right here just to help you start realizing the value in what he can help you with, right? And then Daniel, helping hurried, worried, and buried business owners 10x their business without the headaches, hangups, or hiccups. So he's showing you what he's doing and who he's helping, right? Those people that are there trying to having the hiccups, the headaches in business. Those are the areas that he's working on. His about section, again, if you're a business owner who wants more free time, more profit from your business, immediately then click the blue show more link below right now, right? So if you can, Daniel, I would say to definitely, make it a little more sexy, if you will.
Add a little more intrigue to it.
Right.
Yeah, a little more mystery.
You're not giving me, the only thing you're saying, if you're a business owner who wants more free time, more profit, but you're not giving me that oomph, that's going to make me really want to go. But it's really then here you go into your story. What would your business be like if you had a key person in your company, take responsibility, blah, 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 right? You're making them answer and imagine yes answers in their head. You want as many, by the way, micro commitments, those yes answers before somebody even starts working with you, because it's going to help. But what you want really is you want to make it clear to people, what else can I do? What are the biggest headaches? What are the biggest issues that you're facing? And that's what's going to allow me to really get in there. So Daniel, I like your unique experience about being an Eagle Scout and things along those lines, but you really want to then tie it in with the line and what this means for you is.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Right. because everything that you do, and I can show you again in my profile what this means to you is, it really comes down to how do I bring it back to you, right? I've
Right.
got years of experience being an Eagle Scout. And what this means is that I can help your business continue to grow because I understand the leadership issues that can arise. I understand the financing issues that can arise. I understand whatever it is, right? Connect it back, because the more times that you can show them, wait a second, why is he talking about this? Oh, because I may have a similar issue, and now this is how he's going to help me in my business.
Yep. Great point. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I love having the why, by the way, guys. Having it there is really going to come clear in terms of what it is that you're doing, why it is you're doing it. Like for me, my why is helping our communities get stronger. That's why I'm constantly on stage. I'm constantly speaking with people. I'm being recruited for stages all over the place. And I love getting up in front of groups of business people because it allows me to really make it clear some of the different ways that they can increase their business. My keynote to Success Equate to Happiness really is all about showing people how success means different things to everyone, right? Your success can mean I have the car that I've always wanted. Someone else's success can mean I don't have to do the things I don't want to do. And another person's success can mean I get to spend time with my family. And I'm not saying right now, but all of those different things, they're really all important ways that you really want that why to come clear. And it's got to be evident. It's got to be something that people can feel when they talk to you, when they're working with you. And when you have it come out through all your different marketing, it should be there because it's going to ultimately help you. And then in terms of your featured pieces, Daniel, the one thing I would say in terms of the very first thing, hi, I'm Daniel. If there's a way to make it have more of a better thumbnail or the featured image for the video, try and do that. Something that actually says a little more, hi, I'm Daniel, because it means absolutely nothing. Hi, I'm
Right.
Daniel. Nice to meet you. And let's have coffee, but it's not telling me why I should do the same thing. Same with watch my personal welcome video.
I got some technical problems there and I haven't worked through yet. Yeah. Yep. You're right.
But again, make it clear what it is that you help your businesses with in terms of what you can do. And then have, these embedded media files as often as you can, whether it's in one area or in another, but, try and get any videos, by the way, you guys do on YouTube, anything that you upload. And if you have, by the way, PowerPoint slides that you can share on LinkedIn, SlideShare became a LinkedIn product a couple of years ago. It integrates very easily with LinkedIn into your individual profile sections. So you can upload specific presentations directly onto your profile, which can help people get a better idea of who you are, what you offer, things along those lines. Obviously, don't put anything proprietary in, but if there's something specific that you have that will explain a little more about the industry, maybe you're in a really convoluted industry that people don't necessarily understand, like the payment processing industry as an example that I have a business in, that is an area where people may not understand all of the different areas that are involved in what it means to accept credit cards and the different issues that you have to be paying attention to. So if you have a presentation that you can upload onto your profile, that's going to help also, because somebody that wants to understand more about you before they reach out, they'll be able to see that and they'll be able to get even more of an idea what it is that they can work with from there. So those are the areas that you really want to be looking at in terms of adding those pieces. The other thing, by the way, Daniel, that I would suggest you do is in your education component and your volunteer experience, tell me more, right? What is an MM in instrumental conducting, right? Now, I'm guessing it's, you can conduct.
That's it exactly. Yep.
Right? Tell me more. Tell me that you have an interest in working with musicians. Tell me that you have experience in working with bands, with orchestras, with things along those lines. Because what it means is if let's say I'm a wedding band, right? And I'm looking for help in my business. So by the fact that you have the knowledge of working as a conductor, right? You can talk the talk in the music world. They may have more of an affinity and immediate rapport with you because you have this experience rather than not. So write that as, again, LinkedIn allows you to write content with just about every one of these sections, your education, your volunteer experience, your professional experience. They give you fields that you can enter in all this information in. So tell me more what it means that you have an MM in instrumental conducting and how that again directly relates to your industries that you target, to those people that you can help. And by the way, what you do right now, when you list up on your headline, working with specific industries, remember it's not a set it and forget it, right? It's not to date myself, it's not the old Ronco commercial, set it and forget it, walk away and never worry about your chicken until it's done. It is all about making sure that you are reaching specific people when you are going after those industries. So in other words, let's look at it from this perspective. And there are tools, by the way, that you can use to help you see even more profiles that will allow you to reach more people that they may want to see who you are. So even if you're not using the specific tools, if you're going out there and you're specifically going and visiting profiles, let's say that Daniel, you wanted to go after orchestras, right? Wedding bands. You can look on LinkedIn as a search for wedding bands. You can then click in on each one of those profiles and they will now get notified. Daniel McCraine looked at me. Who's Daniel, right? Why is Daniel looking at me? Oh, because Daniel helps bands increase their bookings. Ding, 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 ding.
Right.
Why wouldn't I want to talk to Daniel, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and I'm going to say, hey, Daniel, I noticed you looked at my profile and believe it or not, how fortuitous of a time, because I need help growing my bookings, right? The last couple of weeks, my bookings all canceled on me. I lost so much money. I need a way that I can come up with new ways to replace my lost income. I need a way that I can have someone help me right now, give me those solutions to help me figure out what am I doing in the next 6 weeks? What am I doing in the next 6 months? Right?
Yeah.
But if you're going out there and you're showing them, I work with orchestras, I work with wedding bands, I work with musicians, now all of a sudden it makes a difference. But by the way, when you do that, remember this experience right here under McCraine Associates. What you want to do is you want to add another professional experience section and say working with bands, wedding bands, orchestras, musicians to help them increase their bookings. And then you want more content that talks to those specific areas that are going to help them reach their goals, right? What is the biggest pain point? What is the biggest objection they have? What is the biggest need they have? And how do you handle it? How can you answer it in a way that is going to be clear? You're the only reasonable and smart choice I have in making it better.
That's a great point right there, Jennifer. Just the way you summed all of that up. And so for business owners who are looking at this, this is a great thing to put into your experience section on LinkedIn. Talk about the service or the product that you have, and then summarize those points that Jennifer just pointed out to us. Who is this good for? What's my experience in this area? Here's how I can help, those kinds of things like that. So that's a great practical idea to put there. So when people do come to your profile and they see that, they know that you're the right person who can help them. So, and Jennifer, I wanted to ask you another question. You've given us tons of great information about how to use LinkedIn, and this is all fantastic stuff. I'm just eating this up. Are there some industries, though, maybe who might be in a local community? Are there some industries who this would not work for? Or is it safe to say, no, everyone really should do this just like everyone should have a website?
I'm going to say that if you're planning the next mission to Mars, may not be the right industry, but otherwise, just about anyone else really should be on LinkedIn. You really want to make it absolutely clear, absolutely beneficial to anyone. Remember, it's not just a B2B platform. Obviously, it is a B2B platform. You know, in terms of, you know, a statistic, 15% of senior level executives that have influence over buying are on LinkedIn, right? There's a lot of people that have a benefit of looking at you. And remember, I'm not just a business owner, I'm also a consumer, right? If you have
Right.
the right widget, right? Like right now, if you were selling Purell and you showed on your profile that you were offering this amazing Purell that's available to me right now, right? That's not a B2B need. As a human, I need it right now because of the coronavirus, right?
Hmm.
So show me what it is you have. Show me the reason that there's going to be more of a benefit, more of a reason for me to work with you, and you got me.
Sure. Yeah. So even if I'm a local baker, um, maybe I put on my profile here that I specialize in gluten-free, allergy-sensitive foods, something like that, because the reality is we're always selling to people. So even if it's CEOs who are primarily looking at LinkedIn, if you think that's the situation, well, they go home too. They still need a dozen cookies or a cake for a party.
Absolutely. And
Yeah,
remember also, if you're a baker, there's always catering gigs.
absolutely.
So really, I mean, no matter what industry you're in, if there's a way to even tie it back to business, you got it. You know, a plumber, right? A plumber, who thinks I need a plumber? And well, commercial properties have plumbing also.
Right. And for those people who are out there, there are so many people who want to make sure that we're buying local. And of course, the case is going to be true of a plumber. I'm not going to go to San Diego to find a plumber to fix the plumbing in my house. But if I want to work through my network, I can hop on LinkedIn. I can find plumber in first degree connections in my area and then go down the list. And maybe I'll use one of those instead of just typing in Google plumber near me.
Right.
Yeah. So that's just another opportunity then to get yourself into the right networks so you become the top choice when people do start searching for you. So don't think to yourself, my business is different. I don't need to be on LinkedIn, because no matter who you're selling to, you're always selling to people. And guess what? Like Jennifer just said, LinkedIn is a huge platform full of people. So yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, if I could just throw out one more statistic,
Sure.
52% of LinkedIn users, or sorry, 52% of buyers said that they use LinkedIn as one of the primary sources of information during their buying research process. 52%.
Wow. So
So,
you want to be on LinkedIn.
yes.
Awesome. Wow, that's fantastic. Well, Jennifer, you have been very generous with your time. You've given us so much information here, and thank you so much for sharing all of this with us. So if someone wanted to reach out to you and ask for any assistance, what's a great way that someone could get a hold of you?
So my website is bgsicoaching.com. Again, BGSI Coaching. Danny, I think you have that on
I was
the,
going to say, I think that's, yeah, let me
and
work my way
also
back there.
on social, you can find me at VGenGlass, BJENNGLASS. Probably should have put it on that slide too. If you wanted to reach out on social, otherwise definitely on LinkedIn, linkedin.com/in/Jenny Glass. is my LinkedIn profile. Probably should have put that on there too, considering it's a LinkedIn presentation. I apologize. I was not thinking clearly when I created the slide deck, but absolutely reach out to me. I am happy to help. And everything, like I said, it's all about value, value, value. I will not sell you on whatever. If you want to talk with me, if you need my help, I'm happy to help. If you need me to obviously do a service for you, I'm happy to have that conversation as well. And that'll be a little bit of a different conversation, but we're always out there trying to help as many people as we possibly can.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. Fantastic. And anything else that you're doing right now that you want to let others know about who may be watching this right now? Any specials you're running, any programs? You mentioned you've got a book out there.
Right. So in terms of a program, I will say for those of you that are the small businesses out there, I am going to be doing a special program on Tuesday, Surviving the Coronavirus Pandemic. I can definitely post the registration link in the comments below right after this program if you're interested in hopping on that program.
That'd be
I
fantastic.
would
Yeah.
certainly welcome you to join me. It's going to be Tuesday next week at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. And, it'll be a live Zoom masterclass program. I promise you that there is going to be no selling on the program next week. It is all about making it clear of what it is that we are doing and how we can help small businesses through this. We're all in the same boat.
That's
Doesn't
right.
matter if you're Bill and Melinda Gates or if you're the guy on corners, the corner store. Everyone is in this period together. We're all going to make it through. We're all going to be pulling for each other. And it's really, how can we help? How can we offer value? How can we make it easier on our fellow people, our fellow humans? Because like we said, we're all in this together. And remember to thank a doctor, remember to thank your first responders, remember to thank those people in the grocery stores, everyone out there right now that is making our lives easier because they're putting their lives on the line so that we don't have to go out, we don't have to go shopping for our basic needs because they're doing it, and stay home.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And I feel much the same way. Small business is the backbone of our economy. It's what creates the community that we live in. And I'm doing my best to do my part too. I've shared with all of you before who are watching this video. I've got a coupon code that I'm making available to give small business owners access to my $1 million business building e-learning system. You can use that coupon code between now and April 15th. I thought that was going to be a significant date. Turns out the IRS moved the filing back, so that's no longer quite so significant. But between now and April 15th, you can use the coupon code CRISIS2020, and that's at my website, fixthisbiz.com. I'll have that posted in the comments below as well. You get 30 days free access to the e-learning system. So you get access to workbooks, videos. There's a whole advertisement library that's in there. You can download advertising material. There are email drip campaigns and sales letters if you want to take a look at any of that information. You've got free access to that. Download all that information. Use that at your discretion for the next 30 days once you get started. Because I feel the same way. I want to make sure that all small business owners get a fighting chance during crisis here. We're all going to come through this together. That's what we're trying to do. And if anyone just wants to, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Just really quick, one thing here. It's not just getting access to the information, because very often I hear people come up to me, I took 10 pages in notes during your presentation, or you're the only person I took any notes on when I've spoken on panels. And the big thing here is it's not just taking notes. It's not just getting the information or getting the access. It's what you're going to do with it. Make a commitment to yourself that when you take advantage of Daniel's special offer, and you opt in for Daniel's free month that he's so graciously offering, make sure that you use that information and you put it into practice. It's not just enough to say, I'm getting the knowledge. It's what are you going to do with that knowledge as you continue to move forward? Because if you start putting in that one nugget, right? Maybe you knew everything else, right? But you were reminded of that one nugget, or you learned that one nugget that you can now implement in your business. Think about it for a second, right? How much is one client worth in your business? $500, $1,000, $10,000? If you get one new client times 10 years, right? For the next 10 years, you get that one additional client because of what you got either from today's program or through Daniel's 30 days that he's so graciously offering. How much is that going to be worth over the next 10 years, right? If you have a $10,000 lifetime value client, it's another $100,000 you didn't have because of what you just learned. So make that commitment, get out there, get in front of it, make sure you're going to do something with it. Don't just say, I have so many, pages of notes, because it means nothing if you don't do anything with it.
That's right. Great point. This is not a time just to bury our heads in the sand, cry into our Cheerios. This is the time to actually implement. So we can make it through, but we'll survive this together. We'll come out on the other end in a lot better shape. So Jennifer, thank you so much for your time and your generosity today. This has been fantastic. It's great stuff. All right. Well, additionally, after this recording is over, if you still want to put questions, comments in the down below in the comments, I'll be monitoring those, and we'll certainly be willing to reach back out to you and answer any questions you may have. So
Absolutely.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you.
To your success, everyone.